When you trust yourself, everything changes. It's as if a switch is flipped inside you. Your voice gains firmness, your gaze transmits security, your posture radiates presence. Suddenly, you start walking with such clear conviction that the world has no choice but to respond. People notice it, they feel it. Some even think it's magic. But it isn't magic, it's self-confidence. And when it awakens, it feels almost illegal. You break through obstacles, face storms, and conquer what you want with such clarity that others ask themselves, how did he do it? Where did he find that strength? Yesterday he seemed so insecure. The truth is, that strength was always inside you. It was just asleep. And this is where Stoic wisdom comes in. They train their minds not to get trapped in doubt, but to grow. Because confidence is not a gift, not luck, not a blessing. It is practice, decision, and mental discipline. And that's what you're going to learn in this video. Stoic strategies, deep reflections and practices that will destroy insecurity, rebuild your confidence, and make you walk away from here feeling dangerously confident. So confident that you will truly believe and approve of yourself, that you are worthy of the life you dream of and capable of achieving it. Before we begin, I only ask two things. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's begin. Step 1. Understand the root of your problems. Lack of confidence almost never starts out big. Sometimes it's a criticism that echoes too strongly, a mistake you couldn't forget, or an unfair comparison that stuck. Bit by bit, those fragments turn into an invisible wall, and you end up believing you aren't capable. When that happens, the mind begins to distort the future. You look ahead and see nothing new, no possibilities, no paths. It feels like everything is already decided, that you'll stay trapped in the same mistakes, repeating the same defeats, carrying the same sense of helplessness. That is the greatest poison of insecurity. It doesn't just rob your strength in the present, it blocks your ability to imagine a different future. But the root of the problem isn't what happened, it's where you place your focus. The more attention you give to things you can't control, other people's opinions, judgments, criticism, the further away you move from your own power. The Stoics already knew this. Epictetus said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but the opinions we have about them." What weakens you isn't failure itself, but the story you keep repeating about it. And here lies the key. Even if no one gives you confidence, you can create it. It doesn't depend on applause or approval. It depends on the actions under your control. Start simple. Study more than others. Train more than expected. Dedicate more hours to something that strengthens you. Small, consistent decisions become your first real victory. And that victory changes everything. Because confidence is not born from miracles, but from solid proof you give to yourself. One result, no matter how small, generates momentum. That momentum creates energy, movement, and a new story. Victory after victory, you become unbreakable. Remember this, you don't need 100 victories to begin. You need one, just one. One victory is enough to ignite the flame of confidence. And the secret is to protect that fire, feed it every day, because from that fire comes the strength that transforms your life. Step 2. Stop destroying yourself with your own judgments. Self-confidence rests on two pillars: feeling competent, feeling deserving. You believe in yourself when you can say, "I know how to do this," and also when you feel, "I worked hard enough to deserve this result." What destroys those pillars isn't just a mistake, it's how you interpret it. Imagine you greet someone on the street. They don't respond. In seconds, your mind fires. What's wrong with me? Am I not valuable? The problem wasn't the event, it was the story you told yourself about it. The same happens in bigger moments, like a work presentation. You freeze, forget something, and feel it didn't go well. Instead of analyzing clearly, "I didn't prepare enough, this topic doesn't inspire me, today I wasn't at my best," you generalize, "I'm not brave, I'm incapable, I'm worthless." Repeated over time, those conclusions stop being mere thoughts and start to become your identity. It's like putting together a puzzle of your self-image using only the broken pieces. Rejection, criticism, misinterpreted mistakes, all become puzzle pieces. After years, the image in front of you is distorted, incomplete, made only of flaws. Science confirms this. Harvard professor Jerome Kagan showed that all children are naturally open and extroverted. Insecurity installs itself through painful experiences, rejection, and misinterpretations. The brain, in an attempt to protect you, stores those memories and creates automatic fear thoughts. It's going to go badly. You'll fail. Don't even try. Not because you're incapable, but because your mind learned to associate action with danger. It's like being locked in a cell without bars. Nothing actually prevents you from leaving, except the fear you've learned to obey. The Stoics warned about this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If something external troubles you, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your judgment of it, and that you can revoke at any time." Self-confidence isn't lost in events, but in the conclusions you draw from them. Step 3. Rebuild your beliefs. Sometimes the greatest enemy isn't outside, it's in your own mind. It's that voice that appears when you make a mistake, get rejected, or fail at something important, and it whispers, "You're not good enough. You'll never make it." That voice sounds convincing, but it isn't reality. It's just a distorted echo, a lie repeated so many times that it feels true. Think of it like an overly sensitive alarm. It goes off even when there's no real danger. You fail once, the alarm screams, "Don't try again." Someone rejects you. The alarm blares, "Better not expose yourself anymore." The intention is to protect you. The effect is to imprison you. Your brain doesn't care about making you happy. It cares about keeping you safe. When it associates pain with an action, it builds a defense mechanism called a limiting belief. A limiting belief is like an invisible chain. You can move, but never too far. And the cruelest part? That chain wasn't created by the facts, but by your interpretation of them. Example: freezing during a presentation doesn't mean I'm not meant for public speaking. It just means I need better preparation. A breakup doesn't mean nobody will ever love me. It just means this experience showed me what I need to learn to love in a more mature way. The pain isn't in the event, but in the label you attach to it. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Our life is what our thoughts make of it." That critical inner voice that diminishes you is not reality. It's just a thought repeated so many times that you believed it. How to break this cycle? Detect the emotion. Ask, what exactly does this situation trigger in me? Fear of rejection, shame of failing, anger at losing control. Naming the feeling is like turning on a light in a dark room. Identify the origin. When did I first feel this? Maybe in childhood when someone mocked you, maybe in a failure that left a scar. Recognizing it prevents the past from silently directing your present. Reinterpret. Every mistake can be framed either as condemnation or as a lesson. The reality doesn't change, but the narrative does. Transmute. Pain holds energy. That energy can crush you or propel you. Use failures as fuel. This strengthened me. This trained me. This prepared me for the next challenge. It's like taking a brick that once formed a prison wall and using it to build your fortress, or turning a scar into armor. The ultimate question, what story will you choose to tell yourself? Because your narrative can be a prison or a springboard. Step 4. Detach from the result. Trust the process. Your greatest enemy isn't failure, it's being too attached to outcomes. From childhood, we were trained to measure our worth by results. A bad grade wasn't just I missed some answers. It became, I'm bad at math. A rejection wasn't, the other person wasn't available. It became, I'm worthless. This distortion follows us into adulthood. You freeze in a project. I'm no good at this. Someone says no. I don't matter. But the pain doesn't come from the event. It comes from the weight you attach to the result. True confidence doesn't come from isolated wins. It comes from repetition. Do you get nervous about brushing your teeth? Of course not. Why? Because you've done it thousands of times. Repetition creates unshakable security, and this applies to any skill. When you stop obsessing over results and focus instead on daily discipline, everything changes. The mindset shifts from, "I need this to go well to prove my worth. I'll repeat this until I become strong and competent." That's when control moves from luck into your hands. In study hours, training reps, conversations you face, pages you read, actions you practice. Here lies true freedom. Acting for the sake of action, serving for the sake of serving, producing for the joy of producing, not for applause or approval. As the Bhagavad Gita says, "You have the right to your actions, but never to their fruits." Confidence is born when you find peace in the process, not the outcome. If success isn't measured by applause, but by the steps you take toward what matters, you'll never again be a slave to results. Step 5. Change the way you see yourself. The way you see yourself determines how far you can go. This is your self-concept, the internal contract you have with yourself, shaped by your values, choices, and daily self-talk. If you don't define clearly who you want to be, the environment will define it for you. Think of self-concept as a sacred contract. These are the actions I commit to every day because they are part of my identity. No matter the fatigue, no matter opinions, if it's in the contract, you fulfill it. That consistency builds real confidence, because one of the biggest sources of insecurity isn't failure, it's inconsistency. Feeling one thing, promising another, acting in contradiction. This inner crack corrodes self-esteem faster than any external criticism. Psychology calls it cognitive dissonance, and it's one of the greatest thieves of self-confidence. That's why confidence isn't born from nice affirmations, but from concrete actions. You don't wait for motivation to act. You act, and motivation follows. Even when tired, if you honor your contract, get up, finish a task, keep a promise, your energy changes. Confidence grows. Your mind learns, "I can count on myself." This is the strength of self-concept. You don't need to prove anything to the world. You need to prove to yourself that you are faithful to who you decided to be. Step 6. Act in order to become. You don't wait to be before you act. You act in order to become. This is the principle that turns dreams into reality. First you do, then you become. The common trap is thinking the opposite. When I'm confident, I'll act. When I succeed, I'll behave like a successful person. But life doesn't work that way. If you wait until you have before you start, you'll never start. The order is act, persist, become. So ask yourself daily, is this action, thought, or decision aligned with the person I want to become? If yes, move forward. If no, adjust immediately. Each action is a brick in the construction of your ideal self. Even the Bible teaches this principle. To those who have, more will be given, and they will have abundance. But from those who do not have, even what they have will be taken away. This is not just about material goods, it's a universal law of movement and inertia. Those who act find more strength to act. Those who practice discipline find more opportunities to grow. Those who move attract more movement. But those who hide, cling to fear, or wait for perfect conditions lose even what little they had. Like a muscle, use it, it grows. Neglect it, it weakens. Don't wait for confidence to act. Act to earn confidence. Don't wait for motivation to start. Start, and motivation will awaken. Action is the seed. Each time you plant it, life responds. Step 7. Build a disciplined mindset. How many times have you promised yourself, "I'll change, train, study, stop procrastinating," and days later you gave up? That wound runs deep, realizing you can't trust your own word. Every time it happens, your mind records, "What I promise, I don't fulfill." and repeat it enough, self-confidence collapses. Discipline is the way back. Think of it like a confidence bank account. Every kept promise, a deposit. Every excuse, a withdrawal. With a low balance, you doubt yourself and sabotage progress. With a high balance, you walk firmly, because you have proof, not just wishes. A river doesn't cut through rock because it's strong, but because it never stops flowing. Discipline is that constant current. For the Stoics, this had a name: self-mastery. True self-respect doesn't come from motivational quotes, but from doing what is right, especially when it would be easier to quit. Confidence is not the cause of discipline, it's the result of it. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, even silently, you make another deposit in your confidence bank. Slowly, your balance grows, and with it, the certainty that you can hold any goal. Step 8. Work on yourself to break free from mediocrity. The most dangerous weakness isn't external, it's internal, comfort. It doesn't shout, it doesn't scare, but it silently drains your strength day after day, until one day you wake up realizing you lived only half the life you could have. Mediocrity disguises itself as routine, comfort, harmless excuses. You don't notice when it begins. Suddenly you're stuck in repetitive cycles, convincing yourself it's normal. Like a still pond, calm on the surface but underneath, stagnant and lifeless. The discomfort you feel inside, the sense you could be more yet stay trapped, is the warning sign. Every time you accept living below your potential, you reinforce an invisible prison, like a bird born in a cage. Even when the door opens, it hesitates to fly, not because it can't, but because its mind has grown used to limits. Many live this way, prisoners of small patterns, only because they never dared to act with self-confidence. The Stoics reminded us, excellence is not a gift, but a practice. The solution is not waiting for inspiration, it's acting now. Small decisions break the cycle. 5 minutes of exercise when your mind wants rest. Completing the task you've delayed for months. Making the choice you know you can't keep avoiding. Mediocrity survives only where there is conformity. Confidence doesn't grow from comfort, it grows from movement. The time to break free from the ordinary isn't tomorrow, it's now. Because living in weakness is choosing to remain small, but taking action, even small steps, is choosing to leave the cage, cross the stagnant lake, and regain the confidence of someone who refuses to settle for less than they can become.